What's up, gang? It's Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Today we're talking about your flywheel. Years ago, I read the book Good to Great from Jim Collins. One of my all-time favorites. I've mentioned the book before, and I'm focused on it right now because we just finished the 8-week program that I lead called The Fetch. And in The Fetch, we talk a lot about the foundational pieces, and I'll give them to you here. There's 4. There are foundational pieces to you in your marketing, right? To grow your business. And that's really important because for years and years, I tried to find all the different ingredients of marketing and what would work. And none of it ever fit into like a very consolidated framework for what to go to work on. So what I went to work on was like everything and anything. Maybe you can relate, right? Like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and pretty soon you're so scattered in your efforts that you're pushing every day in your business on random variables. And so none of it ever compounds to give you the results you're after. So if you go back to Good to Great and you look at the Good to Great companies, what they found in this 5-year study was that these Good to Great companies found the few things, the vital few things that they needed to go to work on, and then they just went to work on those every day for years and years. Like, do you hear me? Like for years. And so it was cool because in the book, Jim Collins talks about how they would press the people. I think maybe it was like Cork Walgreen, maybe it was his name for Walgreens. I can't exactly remember which company it was, but they were pressing like, come on, like give us the thing. Like what was the thing that you did that gave you the results? And he tells the story of how the guy got frustrated at him. He's like, look, it's just not that hard. We found the thing that works and we just showed up and did that every day for decades, right? So that's what's so cool about success is that it's not complicated. And in fact, if you stay with the things that make you successful, success can actually be boring. And that's where I think we get ourselves in trouble because we get bored doing the same thing over and over again every day. And so we, in our attempt to be excited by life or our desire for variety, we go out and we look at other things to do rather than just pressing on the flywheel, pushing the flywheel every day. So you can see that there is a precedent, historic precedent, and a lot of wisdom too, by the way, for the idea that we just show up. We find the vital few things that will move our business forward, and then we show up every day and we do those things. Now, you might not get a result today. You might not get a result tomorrow, but that's not actually the point, is it? The point is to push the flywheel, focus on the process, push the flywheel. And over time, what happens is the compounding. When you look at the graphs of the Good to Great companies, they were like this. They kept pace with the market. And then there was a moment where they went up, right? Where they started to outperform their competitors and everybody else. But that was decades after. I think they said the fastest graph where a Good to Great company started to take off was like 6 years, and that was the fastest. And everybody else was like 10, 20 years or more pushing the flywheel until they outperformed the market. So there's some great lessons for us as solopreneurs, as coaches, whatever your particular industry is. We tend to think we should get results yesterday, when in reality, how it actually works is you show up every day and you keep pushing the flywheel. So what are the components of a flywheel? Well, I'm going to give you 4. These are the 4 that I have found for myself. These are the 4 that I filter everything through. I filter everything through these 4 things. And these are the 4 things that I teach in The Fetch, right? My second program is called The Fetch. And in The Fetch, these are the 4 foundational pieces of the flywheel that I teach. Okay. The first is, how do you find your people? You have to be able to find people who want to work with you. That's the first piece. Once you find those people, the second piece is that you need to foster relationship with those people. So every day I show up and I push the flywheel called finding people. Then second, every day I show up and I find new ways or existing ways to foster relationship with those people. The third piece is funnel. How do I invite people into doing business with me? How do I funnel them forward in the relationship? And the fourth piece is to fulfill. Like once they've signed up with me, how do I continue to improve the customer experience with the people coming through my programs? So those 4 pieces of the framework, that is my flywheel. That is what I go to work on. And if I ever am looking for what's next, I look inside those 4 areas. Where can I shore up? Where can I enhance or backfill? Areas inside of finding people, fostering people, funneling people, or fulfilling what people have hired me for. So there's always a place to look for how to take my business to the next place, but it's always done inside that framework. Those 4 F's are the flywheel for my business. And I would suggest that in your business, those are the same 4 things for you. Now, if you'd like help dialing in your flywheel, right? Dialing in the ways you find, foster, funnel, and fulfill your people, I take care of that in the second program called The Fetch. If you'd like to do that, then you first need to come through the first program, which is called the Groundswell Method Intensive, because without your message, without you owning in a very passionate and convicted way, owning your message, it doesn't matter what we do inside of finding people, fostering people, funneling people, fulfilling people, because you won't know what the essence of it all is. That is what's found inside your message. So to get started on any of that, you would want to apply for my next 6-week program called the Groundswell Method Intensive. You can find out more about that at groundswellmethod.com. The link is in the text of this post. There are some free videos waiting for you there. And if you get through the videos, on the last page is an application button, and you can click apply today, and it will bring up an application for you to fill out. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me here in this episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Here's to you pushing the flywheel of your business.